Hi everyone, today I want to talk about Ganesha because the most weird and wonderful synchronicity happened to me while I was on my summer holiday with my family. We were walking along the beach, collecting shells, paddling in the waves, when all of a sudden I saw something very out of the ordinary. On the rocks in front of me sat a small statue of the Hindu god Ganesha. This is it. It looked really surreal, but so beautiful and so serene, and it spoke volumes to me about the way that I was feeling that day. I love the beach, so I was in a very happy state, in a very humble, appreciative state, looking at nature and enjoying the elements. And to see Ganesha sat there just seemed very profound. And I innately knew that Ganesha had come to visit me for some reason, so I immediately began contemplating the meanings of Ganesha. So this video is a summary of what was revealed to me. In Hinduism, Ganesha, the elephant-headed deity, is deeply connected to the root chakra, to muladhara, and to Kundalini energy. Here are 5 different esoteric points linking Ganesha to Kundalini yoga, to the energy within us and to the vital fluids of the body, with a focus on how one might use Ganesha's power to help to transmute these energies towards spiritual enlightenment. Okay, firstly, we have Ganesha as the guardian of the root chakra. So Ganesha is often considered as the deity that rules over the muladhara chakra, the root energy center that's located at the base of the spine. And this is because the elephant is symbolic of strength, of grounding and stability, all of which are qualities of the root chakra. When our roots and our security is strong and it flows downward, it also allows for the path of energy to flow upwards. So you get that balancing, that synchronized effect of both rooting downward like a sunflower. It needs really deep, long roots to be able to grow so strong and tall to the sky and open up and blossom. So by invoking Ganesha during our meditations or our yoga practices, we can stabilize the lower energy centers and bring awareness to the vital fluids and energies that are there at the base of the spine, and create the foundation that is needed in order for the Kundalini to rise. We need to move into a place of knowing how abundant we are, knowing how secure we are, knowing how safe we are in true source love, regardless of what our outside circumstances are trying to tell us. Number 2 is about how the elephant trunk coincides with the flow of Kundalini energy. So the trunk of Ganesha is often seen as a symbol of channeling and directing energy, much like how cerebrospinal fluid flows upward through the spinal column when we're in alignment. Esoterically, the trunk represents the control and focus that's required to direct spiritual energy from the lower chakras towards the higher centers of consciousness. As an elephant dips its trunk down to inhale or to suck in water, this can be seen as a parallel to our sexual vital fluids, seminal fluids, and to Kundalini energy. And then the way that the elephant lifts its head to spray that water up into the air and back over itself is very powerful imagery for helping us to align with this mechanism within us. And by visualizing it, we help it or encourage it to really kick in and to really activate, because where attention goes, energy flows. So by spending time meditating on Ganesha and that kind of elephant trunk symbolism in this way, that is what we mean by invoking Ganesha's energy. Everything that is connected to this image, because of history and because of the ways that energies are assigned to different symbols, will also come in, because it's part of the Akashic blueprint of life. So by meditating on Ganesha's trunk, we visualize the proper flow, the holy flow of prana or life force being guided upward and enabling us to transform raw sexual energy and to transform our limiting, erroneous beliefs and programs into true spiritual awareness, into the knowingness of the divine limitless resource. Then we have number 3, which is how Ganesha is said to be the remover of obstacles. And in the context of Kundalini yoga, obstacles are our mental, our emotional, our energetic hurdles that prevent the free flow of energy in the spine. Things like shame, things like thinking that we're limited when we're not, we're limited. Things like how others might try and dim our light. Things like how we've become accustomed to believing that we need certain crutches or that we're attached to certain addictions. Those are the kind of obstacles that Ganesha would step in to remove, again by the energy that's connected to us, to her or to him, through the evolution of time. In hidden terms, the vital fluids of the body, such as seminal fluid, CSF, lymph, blood, and other bodily essences, which are mostly endocrine secretions, can be thought of as sources of powerful energy. So by invoking Ganesha, the initiate might be able to focus better on clearing those blockages in the subtle body and transforming not only their thoughts and energetic blockages, but transforming the physical essences into the biochemicals of enlightenment, which is a refined spiritual energy that enhances clarity and gives us enlightenment. The transmutation allows the Kundalini to ascend without obstruction. Then we have number 4, which is the elephant's association with memory. So, the elephant never forgets, that, old saying. Elephants are known for their strong memories, which in esoteric terms represents the capacity to retain spiritual wisdom and to control our lower instincts, because we remember what we're here for, to access the Akashic records, our long-term memories, and to prevent the dissipation of energy through our indulgences, so that we can continue to evolve and to grow into light beings and ultimately be liberated. Without that long-term memory, that that essence of Ganesha, the elephant, it's much harder for us to remember and align with our true path, our true goal. Finally, the fifth point I want to make is about Ganeshas, or the elephant's connection to earth and to the grounding of energy in the body. So elephants are, of course, deeply earthly animals, and they're very grounded and they're very connected to the material plane because of their weight, because of their density. And as we said earlier, strong roots allow for plants to develop upward, and it's the same for us, it's the same for our internal energy. So with the root chakra being tied to our sense of security and stability, that's very much a symbol of our connection to earth. So we need to practice Kundalini exercises and breath exercises that help us to root in, to help us to feel secure, because the vital fluids of the body, such as blood, lymph, and sexual fluids, are governed by the earth. In terms of chemicals, are material, they have substance. So working with the earth is just as important as working with the spirit. By grounding the energy associated with these fluids, we can actually help to transmute material aspects into more refined forms of energy. And this process aids in the safe and balanced awakening of Kundalini, allowing the spiritual energy to ascend without destabilizing us, without it being too much of a blast or being too jarring. We have to align all 7 centers and allow for the uprising energy to balance with the downfalling energy. I talked about this in a previous video called the dual forces, and it's really important. People ask all the time about, how do I do this safely? How do I stop myself from experiencing the different kind of what's the word? I don't want to be too strong, but the distortions that come into mind. And it's because usually we're freeing energy too quickly and we can't see where these distorted images stem from, so they're harder to transmute. But by working on ourselves from the root upwards, we actually overcome that obstacle. So in summary, the image or deity of Ganesha, and I'm not saying that we should attach ourselves to deities, I'm just saying this is what Ganesha represents, is the energy of the root chakra and the vital fluids and how they go down in order to come back up, and how important it is to be rooted in order to ascend upwards as well, keeping our root locked allows the free flow of energy to really rise, and then we're able to transmute so much more, both energetically, emotionally, and physically. And if you're new here, please be aware that there are many practical videos on this channel that offer practical guidance toward Kundalini awakening, which is the energetic counterpart of the preserving and raising of the sacred secretion. It's a liberating and healing process that Ganesha and the trunk stand as a symbol for, and there's a literal resemblance as well, which I hope you've noticed through the images that I've chosen for this video, and I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much as always for tuning in, and the links to my books, courses, and all the other resources can be found in the description box below this video. May divine love manifest itself in you all, always, and in all ways. Namaste.